The all-new Volkswagen Crafter is today on Autogefühl, here at the live premiere on your number one resource for in-depth car reviews and your number one community to discuss cars, today with a commercial vehicle focus. It has just been recently that Daimler presented some future outlook of how their next Sprinter will look like. Today, Volkswagen has already the finished product here of the new Crafter generation. The Crafter, one segment above of the Volkswagen T6, the Transporter. So this one, the big commercial vehicle with a lot of different use, of course, for handcraft, for example, but also for firefighters or whatever. We'll have the exclusive coverage here for you on exterior, interior, and all of the versatility that is offered. Let's start with the first impressions. So let's start here in the front of the new VW Crafter, and what you can see is that the design scheme from the normal passenger car is carried out here with those horizontal fins in the front, and that creates a very modern and rather aggressive look with those angular shapes that are carried out over to the headlights, so on a very clean look overall. And so far, design hasn't been much importance for those vehicles here, but you see this has changed now also for the bigger commercial vehicles. They try to introduce a design focus, and we see that here already in the front. 5 meters 20 to 7 meters 30 or 17 foot to 24 foot. This is the length of this vehicle, and you already heard that there are a lot of different variations, and that's the secret to the car. We have different heights, we also have different length, different wheelbase according to your purpose of use, and also different payload, 3.5 to 5.5 tons. And you can see this one here is already a very long version, and we'll soon also take a look inside. Of course, in the side profile, it's more about form follows function. That is really to offer you the most space on the inside. And you always see with the height, this one is also a high version. So we'll also find out if I can stand in this vehicle. And here you can see a different length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 steps here I went through. But you see this is a shorter vehicle right now. So, and we'll experience a lot of different versions here at the world premiere today to show you the different style and maybe the vehicle that you want. What is interesting in general? What's the main topic here today? Well, so far, Volkswagen commercial vehicles and Daimler, they produced the Sprinter and the Crafter together. It was built in the Mercedes plant. And those ties here have been cut. So from now on, the Volkswagen Crafter will be an own product by the Volkswagen commercial department. And they've built a new plant for this in Poland, near Poznan, where the existing, for example, T6 and Caddy have been produced for over 10 years now. They have invested a lot to do the new plant exactly here for the Crafter. Over the time, there will about 3,000 people working there, and then overall in Poznan will be over 10,000 people working for the VW commercial department. And that's really interesting. This is a standalone vehicle now, how this will develop. And what about the rear? Again, these angular shapes are repeated in the new taillights. Everything else is really form follows function and big VW logo, of course. And here we can already get inside. And what is remarkable that we got quite smooth doors. And for example, those doors, when you're your delivery company or so, doors are opened about 200 times each day. And therefore they also have to be durable. And this is the first look inside, and can also enter the car via the side door right here. And I'm 1 meters 86 or 6'1", and you see this is not the highest version, so this should be about 195 or something like that. We'll soon show you another higher version, and you might wonder, hey Thomas, aren't you more familiar with cars? Well, one of the first cars I bought was this very segment here to transport my motocross bikes. And it was approximately this size also from the inside, and you can put the bikes in here, maybe some fuel in the rear. And you can see those details here at the ground floor. And this is really crucial because imagine the customer group here, maybe you are one of those. You maybe have an existing car, maybe of the same brand, maybe of another brand, and you have some hardware equipped in here, which you paid maybe a couple of €1,000 for, that you, for example, get your tools here in a special cupboard, or maybe also other equipment where you can open something, and this is installed maybe here or fixed right there. And therefore, Volkswagen Commercial Vehicle promises that they offer different solutions for the ground that you can carry over your old equipment. And I think that's really a very important message. Also, fixations for tension belts are right here. And we even got the 12-volt power supply right here in the rear. So overall, it looks solid, but still, it's a commercial vehicle. Even the ground here, it's not only solid, it looks premium at the same time. Also, I really like the inlet they have created right here. A lot of great handcraft here. It's pretty simple, basically, but the bright wood even gives us a nice interior here inside a commercial vehicle. So they say they have worked, for example, here also on the mechanism, that the mechanism itself works faster and is really smooth. And for example, if you save about just 3-4 seconds a day for this one mechanism here, that can save you a lot of time overall. Then maybe if you have a fleet of 100 vehicles and each driver saves a couple of minutes a day, that really saves you money. Again, here from the outside, of course it's fixed, then you can open it and slide back in. One of the most important functions, especially for package delivery. If you think about e-commerce, then those vehicles are really important. And what's also interesting, the maximum loading, is it more about the weight or is it more about the volume? And nowadays, because there are some surveys, 65% of the maximum capacity is really the volume and not the weight. So this is a very crucial aspect and leads us also towards e-commerce, because there you have packages in volume and not that heavy. But of course there are also people who put really heavy things in there, and for example 4 Euro pallets fit in the biggest variant of this new Crafter. Also very important, fixed towing equipment, also with the power supply, and to step on, get an easier access to the car is also a nice solution. And the vehicle you are in right now, you will see it as Michelle is going backwards slightly. This one here is a longer version. It should have the same height, but it's just longer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 steps on the inside. And you see, I even just intentionally used this one here. The holders and, for example, all different solutions to cut off the driver cockpit. We will soon get to the cockpit because a lot of changes has been done here. This is a special security measurement if you have heavy load that it doesn't crash the window, for example. But before we come to the very interesting cockpit part, first of all, some more versions from the outside. This one in Germany we call Pritsche because there's an open cargo area which we can take a look at, because this might also be a solution for you here with a double cabin, not only single cabin. 3 people can sit in the front basically, but you can pick it, and then here, for example, there's a second cabin mounted. So with the open loading area here, maybe for example for outdoor works, cutting trees, cutting plants, not massive tree cutting, but you know those, the for example, public services which take care of maybe the plants and trees inside the city, that could be suitable for that. Also with a box that can be closed right here, and everything really makes a very solid impression. And talking about solid impression, that's also one of the key aspects of the new Crafter, because they say the TCO, the total cost of ownership, they will go down. Why? First of all, they say less fuel consumption. We'll take a look at the engines very soon. And the second point is less maintenance. That will be very interesting, this point, definitely. And the third point is also, if you use some of the assistance systems, maybe rear view camera and so on, we'll talk about that one very soon, then you might also save some repairs. Construction site or roadworks, from the outside it doesn't look so different, but you can see there are lights above there, warning lights, and if you come into the inside, you will see there's more equipment, especially for the construction site or roadworks. For example, here and there, special solution to secure the load as well. And you see this is really very properly fixed here, and also have, for example, generators that you can also always keep on working. You see the fuel canisters there, and we'll come around the other side. There's also a very good example for the stuff you can build in there. For example, like here, and there you have very clean solution for your tools. Look at here, like these details here, the lower part, there's a soft surface that also isn't been throwing around all of the tools. Here again, for example, different setup right there. And I really like those individual solutions, or for example here, up there. Yeah. A little bit tricky for me. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, I mean, it has to be a little bit sticky. Otherwise, when you're in some corners, it would just come towards you. And here again, some more. Of course, this one's not working right now. So there it is, for very small items. So you can see you can do a lot with. There are some cooperations with the companies that do exactly these, and you can, of course, demand this as a customer directly from Works, or maybe also later on as a third-party component. Also here with those lights. Oh. Emergency, emergency, there's an urgent Autogefühl report incoming right here with a firefighter version, and especially interesting to me because my best friend is a firefighter, and he will really be pleased with this vehicle. Best greetings to Torben. This one is maybe for you. You see the light up there and also the red paint. And on the inside, even more important, there are different versions available. This one here, the Command Central, the German Einsatzleitung, German vocabulary for today. So, I'm the chief firefighter now, and I say, hey, what's up? It's great seating here. And I can say, guys, there's a big fire, and could you please take care of that, and I'll chill here meanwhile and take a look at the screens, have a little bit of a fire cinema, and there's a lot of stuff we can store here as well again. Right here. Oh, the phone, for example. Very important time as well. For the radio. 12-volt power supply. Light. Another telephone to the President. Hello, Mr. President. And also interesting, there's an open connection to the cockpit. And that leads us to a very, very interesting cockpit part now. And let's get inside. Of course, you have to climb in the car. And the good thing is, you have a very good panoramic overview, sitting relatively high. For example, of course, way higher than in the Volkswagen T6. And what have they done with the cockpit? They've also pushed it a little bit towards the normal passenger car side with, for example, a bigger infotainment system now. I'm not sure if the ignition is turned on right now. Yeah, there it comes. So you got a big infotainment system now. That is important. Of course, it doesn't come from the serial equipment. You have to pick those, all optional. And then, basically that you also got an app connect, for example. Connect your phone via Bluetooth, but also then, so that we can also change the language. It's Bulgarian at the moment. We can set the English language right here. Let's see how it loads. But basically we know this from Volkswagen configuration. Up there is, for example, the firefighter special equipment. And we also got some design lines here. Those angular setup from the outside is repeated in the middle console. Climate unit, all from solid stuff. And also the steering wheel. We just know from, you know, basically any Golf. Automatic transmission. There will, of course, be different variants available. Even we got a heated steering wheel in this vehicle. Might be important if you're driving all year and don't get cold fingers. Cockpit here, all pretty solid. This is, of course, not softened up. Commercial vehicle segment here now, so everything has to be rather simple, but still solid. So no matter which Volkswagen car you drive, commercial or passenger, you will always see some resemblance right here. And they have paid a lot of attention to the customer, what they said. And therefore, you have a lot of storage spaces, and sometimes you really have to search for them because they are here, for example, you know, for a measuring stick, Zollstock in German. Then a huge box right here, glove box. For example, you can put some files in there. Paid attention to that one. Also beverage holders right there. And also at the inside of the doors, we can take another look there very soon, another close-up look very soon, because all the inside of the doors are really huge. And the seats, this is also an important topic, for example, with the armrest right here. And we will also take another perspective from the outside very soon, because there are also different seat options now. You got very ergonomic seats. They say we paid the most attention to building even more ergonomic seats. And what you cannot see here yet, but will also have something to do with the cockpit, because I see it here, for example, at the steering wheel. This car is equipped with an adaptive cruise control. I can also set the distance, for example, the car in front of me. And this is also interesting because first time so many assistance systems come into this vehicle. Trailer assist, side wind assist, adaptive cruise control, parking distance control, rear view camera, also the front assist, the autonomous emergency brake. You have to pay attention on the offer of your market, which are from the standard equipment. Most of them are not. You have to go for them optionally. It's good that they are offered. And, well, especially as a fleet customer, you have to invest first. But some of those assistance systems, think about, you know, accidents to your car, to your drivers, cost time, money, of course, and probably also saves lives. That can also pay off for you as a fleet customer, that you go for more assistance systems, have more security for your drivers and also for your cars, and also reduce even some small repairs, thinking about the park distance control or a rear view camera. So 3 storage spaces at the inside of the doors here, for example, for big bottles, and for some smaller items here in the upper part. And especially those small storage spaces, also here again for smaller bottles, 12-volt power supply here. Oh, can't get it out right now. There it is. Those storage spaces were also something the customers, for example, demanded. And about the seating position, again here, you can adjust the seat. Even here in the front, you can put the front part higher or lower. This is also one of those special new ergonomic seats with a lumbar support here, 4-way. And you can also put the seat higher or lower. And if you think about some drivers who are in those cars here all day, then of course it's even more important than in a normal passenger car. Let's get inside of another vehicle, and you see here we got a different setup with 3 seats in the front. Again, upright and comfortable seating position. Those cloth seats are very comfortable and also quite firm, and they also promise that they are from a durable surface material. Also interesting, by the way, you got some more storage space here beneath the seat. And you can also, for example, flip it then here. So this is also possible. You can, I think we can restore that. I'm just putting the microphone maybe away for a second. It's a little bit work for me if we remove the head restraint here. Seems to be fixed. But, well, I can't get it out right now. There it is. Interesting, because here we now have a table, even with beverage holders, and, you know, for example, put some papers on here. So also a very interesting solution here. And you can put some stuff underneath it. So you're kind of not stuck with a 3-seat setup. You can always go back kind of to a 2-seat setup and have some more storage space in between. And you see, even with one hand, it's possible to change it again. The middle seat here, by the way, is also comfortable. You have a little bit less knee space then, but overall a good solution with the shifting stick. Here, manual transmission. By the way, 1 meets 86, 6 with 1, told you earlier. Still a lot of headroom right here. In the upper part, for example, also heating is possible to set up, the independent heating control. Here again, the big screen, infotainment screen with the proximity sensor in the lower part. And talking about the steering wheel again, because you have a different perspective now, one of the major changes is you now have an electromechanical steering assist, and that means this servo steering will help you to drive this car way easier, for example. And that makes this car, you know, smaller to feel. You will feel smaller than it actually is. Adjusting the steering wheel is pretty easy, by the way. You know it from passenger cars. All 4 ways possible. And those comfort features are also very important to adjust the driving position to each driver. And there's another seat setup right here. You see, it is like in a big truck where the seat is dampened. You see it a little bit. Very interesting. Also, even a seat massage is possible right here. And you can lengthen the seating area. And then here for the damper, you can set, for example, your weight here. And then this changes then how the dampers react. Very interesting. See if we can see some differences. If we move it right to the left, all the way. See? Not sure if you see any difference on the camera. You can also move it totally to the other side. See how the seat reacts then. There it is. Yet another cockpit here of the double cabin, starting in the front. Here you can see an easier setup. This is the basic steering wheel without any adaptive cruise control. So this is the basic setup you would get. But still, even in that one here, you can adjust it. You can even adjust. Put it towards it. It's easier when you sit in the vehicle. But that's good that you have this from the standard equipment. Also some other seating surface material. I'm not 100% sure, but it should be leatherette, and that could be the solution. For example, if you have like this here, an outdoor vehicle where you have to clean or wipe it quite often and not go for the cloth variant then. And special about this one here is this double cabin, because maybe you have got a workforce of 4, 5, 6 people, and that would still work. So here is 3 seats in the front. One is flipped at the moment, and 1, 2, 3, 4 seats in the rear. And also very easy to get in. And you can see, it's funny, even as a tall person, you got enough knee space and enough headroom, no problem. It will be very funny to drive with 4 people here in the rear, but still it's reasonably comfortable on every seat. Maybe the outer seats, they're a little bit cut off, that you can enter the vehicle. They're a little bit smaller than the ones in the middle part. And all, of course, with the 3-dot seatbelt here also for safety. And talking about the little bit cheaper version, that's how it looks like when you don't have the GPS, the simpler version, just for example with a Bluetooth phone connection and a radio, or also an aux-in and USB port. And another variation of the interior. So not leatherette here. I checked that, it was indeed leatherette. This is the normal cloth variant, so seat surfaces are all Autogefühl checked. And here, with the 1-seat setup, a lot of space on the right side, you can get some stuff very fast in and out. And now talking about engines, it will always be a 2-liter TDI engine with different horsepower variants, about 100, 140, and a bi-turbo in the 180 horsepower variant. I've rounded those figures just a little bit. And also interesting, front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive for heavy load, or also all-wheel drive. And interesting is, quite often it's the case with cars that you only get the all-wheel drive for the most expensive engines, for the top engines. Here, all-wheel drive is available, so it will be like front plus rear. All-wheel drive is available with every horsepower variant of those engines. That's very interesting. And of course, you will see it also in interior, manual or automatic transmission is also possible. So choices depending mainly on the loading you have in weight. This will be the defining factor. And of course, maybe on the surface you are driving. At the moment, Europe is still the focus, but they are also delivering cars, for example, to South America or South Africa. Not yet the US, but I've had some background talks, and they say, yeah, we are thinking about it, we are looking into it. There might be some chances, and then of course, it surely will only be accepted if you put a petrol engine inside here. But Volkswagen Commercial Vehicle says we would have a petrol engine in stock that would also fit exactly right there. So they also would be ready for this development. Harald Lunanek is the CEO for the technical development, and he will surely tell us what is your favorite new technical feature on new Crafter.
Or if you would ask me about my favorite, I have a lot of favorites in the Crafter. First of all, I think I would like to mention the Crafter's an absolute easy driving and handling car, a vehicle for transportation, even with all the span of the load from 3.5 ton up to 5.5 ton. And the reason for that is the electromechanical steering system. And this, by the way, is the fundamental, the base for all the driver assistance systems, which will give us the possibility to drive and to transport the goods much more efficient, safer, and cleaner in the cities and the distribution.
The assistance system, very crucial point, definitely. How did you include it in the vehicle setup? Is there anything from serial production, or do you have to pick everything optionally?
I think, first of all, as I told, the electromechanical steering system is the basic. And then we had an opportunity to look to our colleagues from the passenger cars development. A lot of driver assistance systems, which you know from passenger cars, you will get for free in the development. You have to adapt. And some issues, for example, the park distance control in a lower version, or the safety systems, side wind assist, you will get for free. And some of the driver assistance systems you have to check and to get an option for that.
I heard that during the development you listened a lot to what the customer had to say. How did it really work? And maybe you can give us some examples, because there were surely some things where they said, oh, we didn't think about that before. That's a very important hint. Can you give some examples, what the customer said?
For the customer, how we have done this is we did a lot of workshops and interviews. And by doing that, we also sit down next as a co-driver to some of the delivery services. And we looked how to deliver parcels, goods to the customers. And we recognized how to open a door. We recognized what is to entering in the load department. Therefore, we find a solution how to lower the instep by 100 millimeters. We looked in and looked about what kind of daily use and utilities they are using in their daily work. And this is from the cigarette box up to the bottles of water, up to some equipments for the handcrafts persons, and measurement equipment, toolings, and we were thinking about how to place it in the driver's environment. And then we focused also about the seats, because in a delivery services for long distance you are sitting up to 6-7 hours in the seat. On the other hand, if you are being in a handcrafts company, you are sitting 1 or 2 hours. So we offered also a wide, or we developed a lot of seat variants, so that you can also choose the best seats from the best damping, from the best isolations, and springs seats, and even fixed seats. And by the way, we looked also to the medicals, and we have seen that we also got a certificate for the, let's say, for the health of the driver.
As the last question, it will also be very relevant to a lot of customers. You can pick from different drivetrains, front axle, rear axle, also all-wheel drive. What is best for which customer? What could be an example? Who would pick a front wheel, who would pick a rear wheel, and who would pick an all-wheel drive?
I think the most of the application will be a front drive, front-driven vehicle. Especially when you are living and have deliveries in the mountains like Austria, Switzerland, you should choose the four-wheel drive. When you have to deliver heavy loads up to 5.5 ton, you will have the best performance in the traction control and the traction with the rear drive. And the best is at least the four-wheel drive. I can tell you, so a little bit depends how you use the craft in your daily work.
Thank you very much for this
Thank
insight
you.
on technical.
Okay.
Jens Oxen is the CEO of Volkswagen Poznan, so he is responsible also for the new plant. So tell us, what is the most special thing about this new plant and what does it mean to cut ties with Daimler to have your own plant now for the Crafter?
Well, the new plant opens us the wide door of having many flexibility in developing the product, going to different markets and being flexible to react on things that are happening on the market. The plant itself was a real challenge to build it in 2 years. But it was also a lot of fun building it with the Polish and German colleagues together. And I didn't have to give these people a vision. They knew what they are doing there, and they knew it's a once-in-a-lifetime chance to build a factory like that.
Always possible when you build such a new big place. What about sustainability? First of all, as for the environment and also for the community, for the city itself. What did you pay attention to that you could make the least impact on the environment and the biggest impact on improving their lives on location?
Well, when we went into the search for the location of the factory, we looked for an area where we had railway connection because we want to bring out 60% of our products we want to bring out by rail, not anymore by trucks, which is environmental positively. We looked that we move into a location where there's not a big living area around, so we are further away from the city itself. We got from the German Society for Sustainable Building a certificate that we built this factory really in a way that the nature will be protected also in the future. So there are a lot of things, and we are even now thinking of utilizing the rest piece of ground that we have, of utilizing even growing seeds on there and growing corn on there.
Building vehicles has massively changed over the past decades. What could you implement in the new plant which also looks ahead to the future as for example, connectivity of building processes, human-machine cooperation?
We are actually completely digitalized. I can even look from my working place, I can see which machines are running and where we have a disruption in the production or not. We have the newest laser technology inside the factory. We have Europe's biggest paint shop, but also the most modern way of handling paint, so protecting the environment more and more. That are the big things about our factory.
And as the last question, of course it's always the most important one, how does the customer profit from this new plant? Because we have heard that you didn't build the car from the product first, you started with the customer and then went for the product. How does it mirror in the plant?
Well, we have to be fit for the future. So all these electric service around us or around the customer has to be installed into the car in our factory. So we have to train our people to be able to handle this, to check if everything is okay, to get digitalized because a lot of things in the car are digital. So also the training has to look forward into the future, and we still want to grow with this car. There will be new features coming into this car where we also have to train our people on.
Thank you very much for the
Thanks
insight. Last time we met Eckhard Scholz, the CEO of VW Commercial Vehicles, was in Hanover, where we take a look at the T6 production. There you told me, it's an evolution because also our customers expect that we don't change things radically. This, however, is an all-new vehicle. So how will the existing customer of the Crafter still get along with the new vehicle?
Yeah, with the Crafter we make much more new because we are in the situation that we have to build a new car. And what we've done is to hear what the customer said to us. They explained what's important in the CD segment, and then we translate it to this product. That's different to the way we are going in the T6 segment. With the T6, we are the market leader. Here, we are not the new kid in town, but here we are the car producer which is more or less in a different situation.
So you have cut the ties with Daimler. What's behind this decision? Explain it. And that you have cut the ties with Daimler and Mercedes. You're not building the car together anymore. So what will change for the customer? And maybe you can explain this decision. Why now?
At the end, Daimler cuts the tie, not we. But to be honest, for us it's more a chance than a risk. Because in this new situation, we have the complete range of body styles, the complete range of engines, of technical ingredients to be successful. And you know, when you are in the situation of a daughter in the corporation, it's not the optimum. Because in most of these situations, the bigger one makes the money and the other one makes a little bit volume. But on the other hand, this year we sell more than 50,000 Crafter old version, and it's a really good car. We are happy about that. But with the new one, we are in every item much better as with the old one. So we are sure that we can be successful with this new car. We know we have a lot of work to do to build the ramp up, to build all the derivatives, a lot of derivatives in this segment, in this class. So a lot of work to do, but we are very optimistic.
So building this all-new plant was also a high risk. You had a big investment for that, for sure. But now you're also more flexible. I heard about 69 variants already right now. Maybe you can give an outlook into the future. What else is there to come with the Crafter?
Yeah, our customer base. Yeah, we are the number one in Europe. We are very successful with the Caddy, with the T, and our customers are waiting for our own Crafter. So we have the experience in the segment. Now we have a really good car, and these are the things which me make so optimistic.
There's also a new cooperation partner now. There will be the MAN-TGE. So will this kind of affect your sales, or is the market set up in a way that you don't distract each other? It's one cooperation at least.
Yeah, the segment is growing. That's important for us and also for MAN. We have some different customer group that fits perfect, in my opinion, together, and they are more on the heavy item. On the heavy side, we are more on the lighter side with our car, and together we have a really good network in all countries in Europe.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So that's it for today, exclusively for you fans of Autogefühl from the world premiere of the all-new Volkswagen Crafter. I hope we could give you a good insight on different exterior variants. As I said, overall 69 variants from the height, length, wheelbase and so on. Special versions here as well. I really like the firefighter version. Didn't you as well? And also the different interiors. I think also the basis interior looks pretty solid, and you can even step up that game and have a kind of normal passenger car surrounding with infotainment features and also new assistance system. That's, I think, a very crucial point, especially with this new steering that makes the car really easier to steer and get along with. Also, the cargo department is, of course, the most important thing about this vehicle, and there we also had different setup variants. So especially this ground floor with the wood, that would be pleasing to me and my motorcycles, for example. Of course, I'm looking forward to your feedback on exterior, interior, and different variants. Which one would you pick? And I think overall the decision, that Mercedes and Volkswagen go their own way now, is a very interesting development here on the market. And we heard it from the CEO that this was more the Daimler decision to cut the ties. Let's see if they will maybe regret it, because what we've seen here today in the different markets, different segments, it looks like that they will prepare their own thing, the thing they have also done with the T6, with the Transporter, which is leading the market with those different variations for each customer group. Thank you very much for joining Autogefühl here today, and I'm sure we'll see each other again at the next world premiere or also at one of our full driving reviews.